Hello, hi guys, and hello to Abdul who's watching this live. So today we're going to jump straight in on how to generate year-end reports on Xero. Also meaning how to generate annual reports and management reports as well on Xero. So I'm going to run through and show you how to do that in a few minutes. If you didn't already know, I am Ruth Noel, founder of Tax Twerk. You can find out more about us on taxtwerk.com, and you can also reach me directly, ruth@taxtwerk.com. So pretty much the reason that people need the end of year accounts, or as we call it, year-end accounts, is so that they can get their corporation tax return done, they can file their accounts to the relevant authorities. Here in the UK, it's Companies House. So there's all these different reasons. Other reasons might be to get investment, to show management reports to banks, or to review their cash flow and to make decisions on how to grow the business. So there's quite a few varied reasons why people might want the year-end reports. So with us here at TaxWork, what we normally do is, because we work on a monthly basis, we update your books and your accounts every single month. And that means by the end of the year, we can just generate it all for you. So we just normally do it all for you and get it all done behind the scenes. But if for any reason you're doing it yourself or you want to do this stage, then this video will show you the basics of how you can go about doing that. So right now I'm going to switch and screen share so you can see a demo. So yeah, on the screen now is a demo. I'm going to zoom in a little. Okay, so this is a demo organization on Xero. So if you already have Xero, as soon as you log in with your email, your password, go through, select your company or the relevant company, and you would usually see the home page, which looks like this for your company, something like this. And the first thing that you need to do in order to generate the reports is you can go to the report section, or if you have the advisor login, you can go to the advisor. So first of all, I'm going to show the advisor step. So this is what we usually do behind the scenes. Well, this is part of what we do when it comes to year end. So and for my new team who are watching this as a training video, what you need to do for sending the annual accounts to the director, when I do ask you to send the accounts to the director, go to advisor and go down to this one here, annual accounts exempt. Just click that and it will load up a page for you. And then you need to verify the year end and the report date. So just for example, say that you're working on a company and their year end is November. Sometimes Xero would bring this up automatically, but you definitely need to double check and just say we're working with a company and the year end was November 2015. We're gonna go forward on the calendar and select the very last day of November 2015. This is all fine. Company exempt, that's perfectly in order. So you can press update, and then this will bring in all the relevant figures up until the end of this year. So on here, the first page, you can go through and you can just check the information that's going to show on the account. You can add in the name, for example, tax twerk, address, etc. You can fill in as much details as you like, but remember, this is going to be a draft for now. So our next step in the process is to send this to our tax advisor, and he is going to go through everything in refined detail. So basically the figures get checked twice. We've got a system where it gets checked by two different people to validate, compare the figures and to ensure that it's accurate, and then also to prepare the juicy tax calculation figures later on. So the key things that I would ask you to double check, and I would recommend checking, is the profit and loss page. So remember, this is a demo company, so these figures, they don't really mean much. It's just an example. So just check the sales figure, check to see the expenses make sense. This is something I normally go in and do as well, just to make sure that it realistically makes sense. So this is one of the things where I come in and I can look at this and just tell you in a few seconds if it makes sense or not. Quite often when you're working on these systems and looking at the numbers, sometimes it can be easy to forget to put it into real life context. So you might just see odd things on here that doesn't make sense in real life. So this is the key thing that I would be looking out for, the profit and loss figures. The other second important part to look at that I'm going to pick out is the balance sheet. Just as you can see, there's quite a few pages that make up the draft accounts, but I'm just going to show you the profit and loss and the balance sheet for checking before sending it on. So the balance sheet, again, you just want to make sure that it makes sense realistically. So a lot of companies now, for our companies, we put on a director's loan account. So we want to make sure the director's loan account is on here. We just want to double check that there's no personal bank account showing on here. Things like this should be separate. And we have a whole list. We've got a 22-step checklist that we actually do go through in more detail. So you'll see this on the report as well. This is your balance sheet, showing you the assets, the liabilities, and the equity in your company. One thing as well that I will just show you, I'm going to go back to the profit and loss to show you this just very quickly. You can click into the blue numbers and you get a lovely breakdown, which I think is really a handy way of presenting the information. One of the reasons that I completely love Xero. So if you wanted to go through and just double check all of the sales to see what is this figure made up of, then you just press the number. It brings all the invoices or all the payments, all the bank reconciliations that have been matched to the sales account. So you can just look through and just double check. So just if, for example, I don't know, just say some of these were not actually sales and you needed to adjust the accounts, this is where you would click in, double check it, let your accountant know, let us know at Tax Twerk, okay, actually these need to be changed, this is the description, this is the situation. We'll go through and make those adjustments for you, or you can click in and you can do that as well, but I don't have time to show all of that. In this video, this was really just about how to generate the reports. So that's another thing you can do. And again, you can do the same thing if you're looking at just, for example, entertainment, like, what's that? I don't recognize that, or it doesn't click. You can click the number, £13, and then it will show you the transaction and a bit more about the description for each transaction that's included. So this is what you need to do. And again, specifically for my team, this is what I would like you to do. After you generate the report, just go down and press Save as Draft. So this way, the report has been basically time-stamped. We've got a copy of all the figures. Even if we change it later, we have this copy. And it's really handy because for our directors and the companies, the VIPs we're working for, we want to save them as much time as possible. So we save a draft, and that way they can just easily log on to Xero from their side, and they can click it, and they can see exactly what we prepared. They can go and break down the figures. And a really handy thing is we have an email that we send, and it just tells our VIPs how they can then access that report. Okay, so that's what you would need to do in order to save the draft on the system. And I'll show you in a minute where to find the draft. So another thing you can do on here is actually then you can print this off the normal way, which is with a printer or as a PDF. You can publish it. So when you publish it, that means it's in final status. So it's a bit like saving a draft, but it just means it's a final version. Another thing you can do is export it, and this is really handy. So if you're passing this on to your accountant, or if it's my team passing it on to the directors, whatever it is that you need to do, or to a bank manager or to a loans company, they usually prefer Excel. So you can click it and it will start to download an Excel copy. You can also do it in a Google Docs version, which I love because we use Google Docs here at Tax Twerk quite a lot. And there's a very handy PDF version, and I'm going to go and click the PDF version for this example. So it's just downloaded a PDF copy, which I'll bring up to show you. So now you have the annual report. There's a nice PDF version, and it's summarized everything. And remember, this has just taken a few minutes to prepare, but actually all the figures that go into this does get prepared over a couple of months throughout the year, or if, depending on how it works. So a lot of work does go into this, and this summarizes everything at the year end very nice and neatly. So the key pages that you want to look out for if you're reviewing this as a director is the profit and loss. We would love for you to check this when you get the PDF, and also page 8 particularly, which is the balance sheet. Just double check the figures on there. Let us know if it's in line with your expectations, and we will review it, make adjustments, and move on to the next stage for our tax advisor to get the rest of it done for you. So that's the draft accounts for the profit and loss. And now I'm going to show you how to actually find the saved draft. So to go, when you're logging in, to find a draft or to find a published version or report, click the tab that says reports and go to all reports. And then if you scroll down a little, you see another set of tabs relating to the report section. And so there's a summary here which has all different reports, and I'm going to come back to this to show you a few things. But particularly if you're looking for something that is a draft, you just click here. If it's something that's published, you can click it here. If it's already filed with HMRC, then you can click here and you can see a copy. Filed with HMRC would usually be something like VAT return or something like that. So the draft, now you can, when you log on, you can see it's saved here. The one that I did previously is saved on here. You can click it and it will bring it all up and you can review it, click through, break down the numbers. It's pretty awesome. So I'm going to go back again now to the report summary page. And there is a lot of reports on here. And just so many things that you can go through. So I'm not going to have time to go through every single one, but I'm going to pick out a few key ones that come in the most useful. So the first one will be the general ledger. And for my team, remember, when I do request the general ledger, this is exactly what I'm asking for. This is what I'm asking you to do. So the general ledger, you want to make sure you have it set on the right dates, which is really important. So it needs to relate to your financial year end. So if you remember, we were working on a company that had a year end, which was November 2015. So that means their year starts from December 2014. And I'm going to put in December to end of November 2015. That will bring up the 12 months that we need for that particular company. So once you've done that, it brings up every single transaction in the system, which could be a couple of thousand transactions for a lot of companies nowadays, and the companies we work for. It will bring everything up. So the general ledger, it will match the annual report. So it's bringing up all the transactions within this period that link to the same annual report. This is what we want. We want it to be the same. So it brings up a summary on here, which is handy as well. But the key thing that I would be requesting is for you to export the detailed general ledger to Excel. So you can press this button and it basically downloads the whole system, basically, all the transactions, all the reconciliations. And I'll show you quickly how that looks. Oh, I can't actually bring that up on here. But yeah, it just basically breaks down every single transaction in the sales and all the expense accounts, every single thing. So this is good if you as a director, or if anybody wants to review all of the transactions that have been included. If you want to see an Excel copy, that's the way to do it. And it shows you everything that has been used in the accounts on Xero. So that's a general ledger. Again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you one more. So I'm going to go to all reports and I'm going to show you the second one, which is really handy. And that's going to be the trial balance. And yeah, so I'm just going to even just star it on here. So the trial balance. And so first thing, as always, is checking the dates. Accounting dates are the most sometimes it seems like a most simple thing, but it's the area where people make the most mistakes with the dates. So you always want to double check. So again, we're going to put in the November, end of November 2015, and update. Press update, and then it will bring a list of all the accounts, the categories, different categories set up on Xero throughout the year. And it's totaling up every single transaction that has gone into the account over the 12 months. So for this company, it just shows that the first two columns just relates to the particular month. So this is the total in November only. The key thing that we would be looking for is the year to date. So that's YTD. We're looking for the last two columns. So this is the total for the whole 12 months period. So this company had total sales of £8,429.19. And it also breaks down all of their expenses, the assets, the liabilities, equity. And for this, again, I would like you to do save as draft for this one. So press save as draft. So it's just time stamped. There's a copy on their records, on their Xero profile, and that's really handy to come back to in the future. The next thing that you will need to do is export as an Excel copy. So you can just press export as Excel and it will download. So that's the second thing that when I'm requesting this, and for our tax advisor, we pass on the general ledger and the trial balance in order to prepare the corporation tax return and the other little bits, the other part of our 22-step checks. So that pretty much summarizes how to generate reports on Xero. It's either you're going to do it as the advisor, or you're going to go into the all reports section. There is a lot of other things on here as well. So if you have questions about other areas, which are really handy, like a cash summary, if you have debtors or creditors, the age payables, age receivables, how to do a budget, it's so powerful. It's such a powerful tool. So that's one of the reasons I love it. It's like just having a brilliant new fancy Range Rover, just so powerful, just sitting there on your drive. Like you need to jump in and use it and make the most of it, or get someone to drive it for you. So yeah, that pretty much summarizes everything for this short tutorial on how to generate reports. And I'm going to switch back. So yeah, thank you guys for checking it out. Thank you for coming on and watching how to use that and how to use Xero. Any questions, just give me a shout. Remember to follow us, like and thumbs up this video, and also subscribe if you want some more handy tips on money management, tax, twerking, and Xero. Bye guys.